Good morning, folks. Kirk here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. My son Jason Giordano is doing the videoing, and he's also going to help me correct some of the wood here and tear some of the stucco off. What we're going to do today is there's about 10 different areas on this house that the wood is rotted out. Can you see in here, Jay? See this wood here? It's rotted out. So what we got to do, or what anybody's got to do, is we got to break the stucco out here and then remove this piece of wood. Take the piece of wood and have it milled or matched. If we could find one at Short and Wide or Home Depot, great. If not, we have to have it milled. But there's about 10 areas on this house that are similar to this piece. And what we do is we break the stucco out here, and then we pull this wood off, then we put a new piece back on and re-stucco that. This window is inset. It's kind of weird. It's inset here where, like the rest of these windows, maybe you can focus on these. These windows are just, they're plant-ons. A lot of names for that too. You just put the window inside the frame, use some polyurethane caulking or silicone, whatever the window manufacturer recommends, and you seal it to the frame. This one here, they did something kind of bizarre, and they went inside. Who knows why people do things. Anyway, that's done right there, and it's done wrong. So water's going inside, and the water has really buckled this wall out. They had some termite fellows come out and say, gee, there's nothing wrong with the wood here. They've drilled here and they drilled there, so they said, what we'll do is just change the piece of wood. Well, they called me and I looked at it and I said, gee, water's been traveling inside, and more than likely it's swelled the wood, it's swelled it, and it's probably going to have some wood rot here. Best case scenarios, green clear or copper green, we just paint it on to kill the mold. Worst case scenarios, we might have to replace some studs in here. But the guy the termite fellow who came out, he says, oh, we'll just caulk that. And when I looked at it, I thought, I wouldn't do that. Me, I'd break it all out, examine it, do a little bit of exploration, and correct whatever the problem is. And in the meantime, order a window that fits. This one here has got to come out and be brought out to the outside where it belongs. So they're going to work on that. But what we're going to do today is we're going to knock this out. I have a pretty good idea of what's going on, so I just want to verify that. And we'll show you as we do it. One second. Hold off for a second. The reason Jason's using that Hilti is because if you use a hammer, you push the already deteriorated paper into the wood. So you got to be done skillfully, not with just hard labor. The hard labor does more damage than good sometimes. So a little bit of skill and great pneumatic tools will salvage what paper you can. Alright guys, we are breaking this side out over here, and as you see toward the bottom there was a lot of mud and just dirt in general that just loosened up because water is getting back there. It's not a big deal. In fact, it looks pretty good here. But at the top, we're getting rid of the eyesore. Show them that bulge, Jay. I'm going to take it at an angle right here so you can see the bulge came out at least 2.5 inches. Well, when we fix this up, you're not going to see that. So when they paint it next month, it's going to look real nice here. And the mud sill so far looks in pretty good condition, but we'll cross that bridge in a few more minutes too. Alright guys, forget where we are since it's a following day, but I'm using a 3.4 wire here because if I use a 17 gauge, which has 1.5 inch holes in it, I'd have to use a lot of these concrete nails because I can staple off into the wood here, but then when it goes over the concrete, I also want to tie the concrete in. So I'm using Weldcrete, and we just brush this on this block finish. That's so the next coat will adhere to this. I won't adhere if there's no Weldcrete. And plus this has got to be wire brushed very well. Can't have no residue on it. So when you're doing these little concrete nails, you're probably thinking, where'd that guy get that magnet? A little magnet right here, and you grab a little concrete nail, and sometimes they go in right, sometimes they don't. If you hit the grout, sometimes they pop out. But if you're using long nails, it's better to hit the grout. You just put this guy in here, use a big hammer. Now the bigger the hammer, faster it's going to go in. If you use a little tiny hammer, you spend all day and then you do more damage than good. You vibrate it loose. These little guys here, you won't find them anywhere except, I believe, West Side Building Materials, Alta Building Supply, where I buy all my paper and wire and stuff. But you'll probably never need this guy here. Anyway, as I've said in a few other videos, real important, we've got a caulk. Where the paper meets this seal, we are going to fuse this paper into the seal. So when water hits this, and by the way, they're going to change this window because it's not right. But when water hits this, it's going to come down, and we don't want it to go back in this paper, so you're going to seal that. So that's it for this one. All right, guys, we are finishing up this area here. Remember, we had at first I thought it was about a 2-inch buckle, but it was about a 4.5-inch buckle. So what we've done here, of course, after we rewired it, I'm shaving this down. So I only got about a 1/4 inch here now, so it takes a fine hand, otherwise the wire with the concrete nail pops out. And I take the excess stucco and I feather it in here. And I'm going to feather more in here for the transition so that it's not coming down and then coming out 4 inches in here. It's unavoidable, the 1 inch, because the concrete is past this, so I only want to go 1/4 inch max here, and I'm going to keep building this up a bit more, and the transition will be pretty close where the average homeowner won't be able to tell that there was a mistake right here. Alright guys, we are complete with this tie-in here, and notice the finish. It's somewhat unusual, but it's very, very simple. It just looks more difficult than it actually is. The main thing is we've repaired everything that was damaged here. That I thought it was about 2.5, but it was about a 4-inch bulge. It came way out to here. So we feathered that in by building this up a little bit more and this a little bit less. Anyhow, it's not an eyesore anymore. It looks good. It matches what they have here. So our job is complete. Anyway, this is Kirk with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Thank you, Jason, for doing the video. We'll see you guys on the next one.